James Bradberry came out and said, I'm not playing for cheap next year. He's a free agent. He's a corner, position in need. First thing Khang said to me when I walked in, he's like, I got a guy. James Bradberry is somebody that you, Khang, would back up the Brinks truck. You'd make him the centerpiece of free agency for the Lions.
Well, I think we're all going to have to pick a guy if we want the Lions to be where we think they should be next year, right? And you got to get aggressive a little bit in free agency. I think defensively, on the defense side of the ball is where most of us are looking for. The offense was great last year. Defense got a lot better at the end of the year, but let's be honest, they still lack playmakers and stability in the secondary, right? Mm-hmm. James Bradberry signed a one-year deal after getting cut by the Giants to go to the Eagles. People knew he was a good corner, but he had a standout year this year. Paired up with Darius Slay on the other side. James Bradberry's 29, so he will be on the wrong side of 30 no matter what team signs him. I need him for the next 2-3 years. He's going to command a bigger contract than he signed. He signed a one-year deal just under $8 million. If you go through the league and look at the cornerbacks,
double that.
Yeah, you're going to look at the top cornerbacks. He's going to get paid. I think his bare minimum is $15 million per year. I'm willing to give him $18 per year for 3 years to get him to sign with Detroit. Now, he just recently said in an interview that, he hasn't talked to the Eagles yet. Everything's fresh still. But he did say, I'm not going to play for cheap. Now, he didn't say that, hey, I want to be the highest paid corner in the league, but he knows his value, and he knows he's going to get a pay raise. He also said he wants to play for a team that's going to be closer to winning. I think the Lions check that box
they
right
qualify.
There. They're going to be a pick in favor to probably win the division next year, if not right there with the Vikings, right? I know we all think the Vikings are frauds, though. So with that being said, the second part is he's not going to play for cheap.
Did you say frogs?
Are you being me right now? So anyways, he's not going to play for cheap. The Lions have the cap space. Brad Holmes came from an organization that was not afraid to make big moves, albeit there are more trades like bringing in Jalen Ramsey and players like that. But right now, your starting cornerbacks are Jeff Okudah and Jerry Jacobs. And God bless him, but I'm not sure that's going to be good enough to get yourself out of the NFC, right? You got to have a guy you can count on, and James Bradberry is that guy right now in free agency. I think this is the play. If you are serious and you want to eat at the big boy table, you got to make big boy moves, right? This is it. You pay a little bit more maybe than you're willing comfortably, but this is the NFL. Every year, we go through the offseason, and Gator and Doug and me and you, Jim, everyone, we look at guys that are getting signed. We go, whoa, that's too much. Oh, my God, that's way too much.
Right.
That's the NFL, right? And these contracts are not guaranteed.
Like, who was the receiver last year that signed
Christian Kirk?
Christian Kirk with Jacksonville.
Right?
And
he actually had a really good year.
Yes.
And people thought they overpaid, but their thought is, if we've got a quarterback who's legit, we kind of have to overpay to support him and try to win.
Yes, and I think if you got a team that you think is legit and just lacking some pieces on defense, you got to pay.
So who is it for you? 248-539-9797. We all got a guy. Khang has brought up James Bradberry, Super Bowl runner-up, cornerback. He wants to go get him. Gator, you got a guy?
I got a guy. Different position. Same side of the ball, though. It's on defense. My guy's Daron Payne, defensive tackle with the Washington Commanders. He's a former first-round pick, 13th overall. Played 5 years in the league, but he's 25 years old. And he was dominant this past year. 11.5 sacks, 18 tackles for loss, hit the quarterback 20 times this year from his defensive tackle position. I think he slides in with this Lions team and immediately makes them a better defense. That they need somebody who can help stop the run. This guy in the last couple of years has combined for over 100. I think it's 125 tackles in the last 2 years as a defensive tackle.
At 320 pounds.
Yeah, this is a guy that you got to go get. I like Hargrave from Philadelphia as well, but he's older. This is the younger version of it. And this is what you got to look at. Defensive tackles can take a while. It took him his fifth year in the league before he really broke out. Last year, he had a career high. 2 years ago, I should say, he had a career high of 4.5 sacks. Oh, not 4. His career high was his rookie with 5 sacks. And then in 2021, he had 4.5 sacks. It jumped to 11.5 this year. I wouldn't expect him to have double-digit sack totals. But what I'm saying is it took 4 years of being okay, and then he broke out. So if you're thinking that, Miles Murphy or Brian Brzee is going to be that guy, it may take a while. I want the known commodity. If I can go out in free agency get the known commodity at defensive tackle. Then I don't have to worry about, is this guy he didn't play much in college. I don't know. I'll go with this guy. I know what he is. He's worth $20 million a year. If that's the going rate for a defensive tackle, I'm willing to pay it and lock him down. And then you know what I might do in the draft? I might double down on corners in the draft at 6 and 18 and really improve that defense.
Got to really love a corner to take him at 6. I love the Daron Payne note from you.
Trade back.
You could. I got some draft thoughts I want to do at noon because I have some clarity after seeing McShay's latest mock. I'm not a fan. I have some clarity as the Lions approach the draft. I want to rethink it. We'll do that a little later. Daron Payne, 3-down guy. That's how you get all those tackles.
Yeah,
you play every down at 320 pounds. Interior guys that aren't just run stoppers, he'll do that, but also sack the quarterback. Chris Jones, Aaron Donald, the last couple years, centerpieces of Super Bowl defenses. That's a big deal. I look at Quinnen Williams, who had a great year this year. The only reason the Jets were good because of their defense, and he was the guy. Interior pass rush, quickest way to get to the quarterback. They're rare. They're hard to find. This guy's 25 years old. 26 by the time you get him under contract. But that is right off the rookie deal. That would be a home run move. The other guy I like, just so I'm not stealing yours, Jamel Dean. Same deal as Payne, prime of their career, off a rookie deal, bigger corner at 6'1", played for Tampa. I agree corner's a big need, like Khang says, but I don't want to pay a guy who's about to be 30 years old the premium. I'd rather take that money and give it to Dean, who could be part of this for the long haul. Not just a year or two before it starts to drop off, but for 3 or 4 as they make this a real defense for years to come. So who's your guy? 248-539-9797. Bradbury, Dean, Payne, somebody else. You know, I think they have to get somebody, right? Would you agree there needs to be a centerpiece splash guy?
I don't want to get guys that are middle of the pack guys. Hey, you know what? He's a depth guy in another team, but maybe he gets a little opportunity to play here. No, I don't want that. I want somebody who's going to step in and be, a Pro Bowl player from moment one. And I think that's what you get frankly, with all 3 of the guys we mentioned. You mentioned the top 2 defensive backs out there. I mentioned one of the top 2 defensive tackles. And it also, because I'm got my eye on the draft, it helps me get laser focused on what the needs are after you strike it rich with one of these big hits. And the big hit for me is the defensive tackle. I don't have to worry about that in the draft. Maybe I can get one in the second round as opposed to thinking about where's the right spot. Is it too early to go for one at 6? Do I need to trade back and take one? Is Brzee going to last at 18? And what's he really going to be? I don't really know. I want to take the guessing game out of it. I want to know. I know Daron Payne can play. Go get him.
Brzee kind of scares me a little bit too. When I watched what I have seen of him, pad level's not good. He's bigger than everybody, but he also plays a little high. I know, but I don't see the wow athlete that he was billed as coming out of high school. And there's also the concerns about the production that's waned here or there.
Well, he had some issues off the field.
Of course, and I'm not trying to hold the death of a family member against him.
But that's a big thing, though. I think you try to weigh that in how it's going to affect you.